All right, all right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, what is up, YouTube? It's me, Mr. Rent Free, aka your boy Don Gotti, here with the Premier League Division 4 matchup, baby. That's right. We're on Hill 400. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Don Gotti. This is going to be a matchup between 9PZ and Pathfinders. That's right, the 9th Panzer Division takes on the Pathfinders. We're going to jump right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'm your host, Don Gotti. Thank you for stopping in. Hope we have a good time today. Now, our match has started, so we will jump to. As you see, Flak Pits is going to be our midpoint. Jesus. Now we are giving you a look from the 9PZ side. As you see, it looks like 9PZ is starting to get into the point. We've got some Pathfinders making their way in, getting the initial cap pressure. Pathfinder's doing a good job to get some trucks. Curious to see how this goes with Flak Pits being midpoint. We're going to really want to see who controls Hill 400 and the area in between there. Quite a fight now underway. Pathfinder is looking to take an early lead here. By the way, if I sound terrible, I do have the flu. Went to the doctor this morning, got tested, all that good stuff. Got the wonderful news. But the show goes on, folks. We're here. We're bringing you the Premier League, your ultimate destination in all things Hell Let Loose. Got some light tanks, excuse me, moving up on the point here. Pathfinder's making sure to surround. Takes one hit. It's going to be a rough matchup for tankers. I'm sure they already know that. Any of you that have played this map know. I mean, not many roads to follow, a lot of trees. It's going to be really difficult to keep your tanks up as far as staying alive for more than 5 minutes, or even a minute probably after they enter the cap sector. I'll take a pan out for just a moment. You see we've got some Pathfinders working their way on the north side of the field. We have a garrison or something set up over here. Lots of MGs and whatnot spawning. We do have an initial cap by Pathfinders. Lots of action going on, as you see. It's going to just be an overall brutal battle for the Flak Pits here. Trying to see if we can get a better angle. See a little bit more of what's going on. Got loads of Pathfinders in the middle of the point here. Definitely doing a good job. We got Sharp working up, trying to get the MG set up. He gets downed. PZ working their way in. Whew. Explosions everywhere. We got 9PZ trying to work their way down the hill here. Loads of Pathfinders still working their way in. We do have an outpost mark on the field, so they know about where the Pathfinders are coming from. Obviously, this is going to be a good point for 9PZ to take. Having the high ground here makes it really difficult to hold this point. It really doesn't matter who you are. Ooh, what a shot! Looks like the doctor over here with the rocket shot. Just erasing what the Pathfinders had there. A spawn wave does come from within the point. You see we do have a garrison of some kind. It's being marked out with an OP marker, but it's going to be a Gary. We saw more than one squad leader spawning. Pretty intense battle going on here. We've got another 9PZ armor unit moving in. He's got himself situated pretty well. 9PZ looks to go ahead and take back this point. They've been working pretty hard to. And they will in fact do so. I wonder if these two armor units have any clue that each other are right there. It does not appear so as of right now. Oh! It does now. We've got a shot, we fired, we're hitting trees. Yep, that's doing nothing for you there. Getting right in front of him. Not sure if that was the best move he could have made, but either way, he's going to pay for it momentarily, I reckon. Boom. Pathfinder armor unit goes down. 9PZ taking the point. Looks like they'll be sure to set up here. Not many garrisons on the field. Something a little surprising coming to this point. I'd like to see more Garys going up, and as you see, we got them popping up left and right. Got to get you back in the action here. Got a whole lot of Pathfinders up to the north side of this map. Working up heavily, you can kind of see this line drawn in the sand, if you will. L400, a very difficult map to broadcast from. We got lots of trees. Alright, we've gotten a forward garrison. If you know anything about these boys here at 9PZ, they're very aggressive, or seemingly have been in the past. So I look for Jig Squad and company to probably go ahead and work their way in. We've got an enemy garrison mark put up by the commander. Major Chassé getting him a kill. Very cool. We don't even see the carcass out there. That's awesome. Pathfinder's looking to set up here, try to get a big push going back onto flak pits. 9PZ doing a really good job of spreading out here, keeping the line, making sure nobody is able to slip through. You see maybe one or two in the top of your screen that might have, but they got shut down pretty quick. Pathfinders appear to be struggling to win some gunfights off the jump here. 9PZ doing a good job of defending this territory. Got a few 9PZ working their way around on this northern side of the map. We got quite a few Pathfinder squad leads moving up on this northern side as well. Probably looking to set something up, try to get some pressure back on. It will work out decently for them as they don't have any forward garrison by 9PZ to worry about. So they may be able to slide in if they're quick. PZ working the way with trucks. Ooh, I'm curious to see how this goes. Not sure if this armor unit has any idea this guy's here. Dogwater, it's your chance. This is your chance, brother. Private First Class, RIP, 5 RIB, attempting to set up the satchel. He's going to have to wait, though, until that armor unit decides to stop. Nope, it does appear that he's taken off. So I look for him to have gotten the satchel set. Help! Thomas hops out. Oh! Trying. He wanted to get the satchel. Dogwater, I fear, is not going to get there in time. I don't see any way of him getting this. It's actually going to be a... ooh! Oh, and just not quite fast enough. What a play. RIP, 5 RIB. Getting the satchel, getting behind enemy lines, and putting some real work in on that 9PZ armor unit. Quite a play there. Glad we got to get that on stream. Back to the main action. We've got 9PZ, as you see on the map, starting to spread out. Looking pretty good here so far, making a pretty dominant start of the map, even with losing mid first. Very cool to see. That's what we like. Those of you that are unfamiliar, 9PZ was actually the TPL Lite Champions last season. So we've moved into the Premier League this season. So it's season 1 of the Premier League, but these guys have a reputation. They're nobody to play with, you know. So looking for a big performance from them. Pathfinder's still working on this northern side. This is going to be their best bet, realistically. As to getting in that point, flak pits is going to be very difficult to take, and they're not going to be able to do it from south of the point, obviously, as they got that high ground, unless they're able to take the high ground. If they're able to get control of Hill 400, they could really turn this map around, but as of right now, you see there are tons and tons of 9PZ here on the Hill 400 and everywhere in between, so leaving no room to slip through. Very curious to see how Pathfinders respond here. Gonna need some big plays, that's for sure. Also, you see here, let's take a peek at the action down south, see what's going on. I got a feeling 9PZ is going to try to move in here pretty soon. They've got everything set up the way they'd like it, it appears. Plenty of garrisons, OPs galore. Now it's really just time to put the clamps down, if you will. Got a battle of the squad leaders. Imagine being Mozambique, looking up the hill and seeing at least a whole squad of guys. But he may have... oh no. I say he may have had the angle on him, but they found him pretty quickly and snuffed him out. (9PZ) working their way ever so slightly closer to that red-blue line, asserting their dominance as far as map control goes. Got a Pathfinder's armor unit here. And Obagafreiter easy working his way in. That assault, he's probably got a satchel, if I'm willing to bet. If he's an assault and he's running toward the armor unit. Hopefully Laker ends up seeing for his sake. Oh, he does. He gets out there in a little bit of a tussle. Oh, the armor unit fires, kills their own guy. Obagafreiter easy gets wiped with the coax. They live to see another day, folks. That was a huge play. That's big for Pathfinders. You really don't want to see your heavy go down like that, especially just sitting there in an open field. Meat Sledge and Tonka up there, obviously probably talking together now. They're in the same squad as Easy was. Try to triangulate and get some action worked on that 76. Very curious to see. We've had several garrisons drop by 9PZ. Not able to make as quick and light of work as maybe they thought they were going to at one time. We do have some enemy as far as 9PZ enemy goes. Within the point here, basically. Working on that backside, just kind of letting people go through. It's just going to be one squad. I may look for a, an OP swap at some point. Get some more guys in there. They do look to have 3 places available. We've got an armor unit back here. And a little bit of a tussle with an assault. Oh my gosh. Gets them both. One foul swoop. Sergeant Dickerson and company. Nice play. Making sure those bodies are turned to dust. Red Raider over here putting some pressure on from behind with his squad as well as adrenaline. As I mentioned earlier, it's going to be clutch for them. Try to get control of this high ground and work their way in. These guys have seemingly slipped through. Red Raider goes unseen. Shark firing rockets at the Axis armor here. Another one hits, but it's going to be useless as of right now. Looks to be a PZ-4. Curious to see how Pathfinders are going to play this. Oh, sleepy. Moving in, this armor unit has no idea what he's getting himself into, and he's hightailing it about as fast as he possibly can. I guarantee he did not expect so many enemies with rockets. at that portion of the map, that's for sure. Well, it looks as of right now, he's off to the races. Gonna be safe for now. Let's get you in action. Right back here on the point. We've got we've got Pathfinder Adrenaline up here. And Red Raider making their way in, trying to do some work. Hopefully they're able to get this garrison for their sake. They've gotten one, it appears, that was on the southeast side of the point. So 9PZ is going to be on full alert. Pathfinder's doing a good job of infiltrating this back line. I'm not exactly sure what route they took to get there, but they've obviously carved their way through, or at least the squad leader made his way through. Berkeley goes down. Middle of flak pits is fairly empty. We've got a squad of Pathfinders working their way in. Not sure it'll be enough to mess with the cap pressure, but plenty of chances to get some OP swaps going on. Smoke's hitting in flak pits. I believe, if I were to guess, that's coming from Pathfinders. I don't know why 9PZ would do that to their own point, so obviously that tells us that Pathfinders are launching some smokes. Done a pretty good job of getting in, but it looks like 9PZ has snuffed out about any attempt. I don't see any squad leaders back up on the field yet. They could very well be waiting to spawn. As we saw, we've got two OP spawns pretty close to each other. Not the greatest idea in the world, if you ask me. Very easily to be found even by one person on the field, let alone if a whole squad moves in and tries to comb the area. Those OPs are going to drop pretty quickly. But I digress. Red Raider and company respawning off the OP takes out Stiglitz. We have two squads worth of Pathfinders now trying to push their way into the flak pits from the eastern side, which is back behind 9PZ. Not much going on. If you're 9PZ, I look to try to reassess some dominance on this line here. You see they've kind of been pushed back, it appears. Possibly because Pathfinders have worked their way in, or also, you know, they could be, you know, losing some firefights. Hard telling at this point. We're going to come right back to that, but I want to see what's going on the front lines here. 9PZ still working. We even have a sniper within Bergstein Church. Kind of hanging out. I wonder if he gets found out by Road Dog. We've got Clanker and company moving in from the west side of Bergstein Church. That's going to be the back side. They do have a garrison set up in Charlie 7, a backline garrison. Going to work well from them. They're going to want to set up realistically 3 lines of approach for their attack. That's going to be very hard to defend if you're Pathfinders, or realistically anybody. Take a peek and see how we're doing back here. We've got just over an hour remaining. Pathfinders now contesting midpoint. That's right, I'm excited too. Trying to get you guys a good view, but unfortunately with all the trees, this is going to be a difficult one. Now this is where you find yourself potentially in a rock and a hard place if you're Pathfinders. They are starting to cap slightly 9PZ working on defense now, contesting back and forth. But Pathfinder is going to be difficult to hold this position, especially when you're not in control of the point. Not having control of the high ground, as well as not having the cap pressure, is really going to be difficult. Curious to see how Pathfinders pull this out, or what they do. But we got several squad leaders up here. Not certain if we're going to see some OP swaps, or if we're just going to see these guys work with what they got. As others very well may be busy. A look at our map shows that 9PZ is starting to move into enemy territory, ever so slightly. Obviously the guys around here working to hold off this advance by Pathfinders. Not many in the circle, but they're also not going to know that. Pathfinders with currently... Nope. I stand corrected. 9PZ will defend. And that being said, we see our next point starting to be contested. Meat Sledge and company putting some work in here. Oh, this could be very bad for Pathfinders. 9PZ going to have no problem defending that midpoint, I fear, with all those guys around. Pathfinders going to have to work quickly here. I fear that the minute 9PZ pulls back and starts to defend, they're going to cap. So, right now we are ahead in cap weight. We will keep an idea of what's going on. We've got so many 9PZ here on this attack point, but they are still steadily losing mid. We've got more and more Pathfinders working their way in, slowly picking apart the 9PZ infantry. They're at nearly a half cap here. If you're 9PZ, you really hate to see this. It's going to be one of those moments where you thought you were going on the attack, you thought you were going to cap, you got everything set up, you're looking good, and then boom. You make that move and it's just a smidge too late, and the enemies are working their way in. Now it appears that 9PZ has significantly lost their stronghold here. As you see, a lot of Pathfinder squad leads on that hillside. It's going to be crucial to hold Hill 400 in this match for either team. Another spawn by Pathfinders. This is going to get interesting. We've got a mid battle going on for the century. Very curious to see how this plays out. Like I spoke of earlier, this is where it's all going to go down, folks. Hill 400. Anywhere between. "9PZ making their way back, managing to defend momentarily. At the same time, they are capping 4th point. Pathfinder's going to have to figure out what they're doing here very soon. Whether we see them all redeploy or not, I'm not certain. But this could get very bad very quickly for Pathfinders. Pathfinders managing to hold off on that cap on their 2nd point and contest, so they must have gotten a spawn wave off. 9PZ still managing to defend mid. You see guys just getting wiped left and right, slowly picking apart this Pathfinder's offensive. Got supplies being called in the distance here. Oh, that's not supplies. That's going to be an airhead, ladies and gentlemen. As of right now, we've got all the Pathfinders cleared out of the point. Let's go ahead and take a peek up here, see how this is going to work out. Wonder if Tonka is able to defend this, or if Toast and Tempted Crow happen to have seen the airhead land. They've got somebody pinged, so they know about where Toast could get it with one rocket shot. He could save his whole team here. Not sure if he knows where it's located, though. The spawn should not be able to go now. I believe he's within... Oh, no. He's turned around. He has no idea it's right there in front of him, folks. Oh, that's what you hate to see. Oh, man. If you're Pathfinders, you're going to regret this one watching back on the stream. That could have really been avoided. I look for 9PZ to have quite a spawn wave here. If that's the case, this may get ugly for Pathfinders pretty quickly. Waiting to see if we get a 9PZ spawn wave off of the airhead. You see we have a armor unit from 9PZ working their way in just east of Bergstein. Oh, we got one guy. Perhaps they all decided not to since Toasted went in close enough and made it red. I don't know if he locked it out for a moment and scared some people off, or if perhaps they just decided against it. I'm not sure how that works. Meat Sledge and Co. taking hold, digging in deep within Bergstein Church. Pathfinders responding from the south side. We've got an open armor unit here with no protection. He does get a shot fired from RAP 5 RIB. Another one hits him. Look to be from Death. We do have a ping on Death. Sergeant Denial working his way in, hitting him as well. Oh my gosh, how many shots can this armor unit withstand? Absolutely bonkers. We got, oh yeah, he goes down. That is going to help Pathfinders immensely. As you see, they managed to go from losing the point to contesting just like that. Also contesting midpoint at the same time. Flappy and Chungus in there. Chungus goes down. Spawn wave appears to the south. We've got a flare up. Artillery hits right on the recon spotter right after he pops the flare. Flares from both teams up. It looks as if 9PZ is going to take this point as of right now. Another huge spawn wave from Pathfinders coming in. Will it be enough to stop? Time will tell. Ooh, and we do officially have a 4-1 count. For 9PZ. Doing a decent job. Not working with terrible many garrisons. You see Commander just removed one in G5 in front of our own eyes. Looks like Meat Sledge, Pat, and Donnie Dank and everybody else are going to try to do their best to wipe these Pathfinders out. They've got artillery coming near where the Pathfinders garrison was located. Not certain if we can find that for you. It would have been removed obviously when they capped the point. So I don't believe they've got that set up again or not. General Onyx even on the front lines putting in some work. Again, for those of you just tuning in, this is Premier League Round 1 Division 4 matchup between the 9th Panzer Division and the Pathfinders. I am your host, Don Gotti. As of right now, we've got a 4-1 lead for 9PZ. Now this is a good view right here. Frederick Junction, going to be Pathfinder's final point. As you see, most of the team has spawned, working their way up to build that wall, if you will. This game is truly about building that wall. NPZ with very little guys within the point, working to push out to the west. Let's get a live look at the front lines here. You see we've got an enemy truck. I'm sorry, a Pathfinder truck, not an enemy truck. Enemy for my screen. Just on the other side there. May have a garrison set up. TurboTax. Looking to put in some work back there. Just being absolutely surrounded as of right now. Meat sledge laying low. Getting a lay of the land, trying to figure things out. TurboTax using that FG-42 as best he can, getting a few of them before he goes down. Meat sledge laying low, knows he's well outnumbered here, desperately trying not to give up any ground. Meat sledge goes down. We've got a huge push coming from 9PZ on this northern side, it appears. Very curious to see. We've got Pathfinders all around, both to the north and the south. Going to be interesting to see if this push amounts to much. We do have an armor unit just by Pathfinders just over here. We'll try to get you a view of. There he goes. What a light tank. Oh man. Womp, womp, womp. North Rage, assumingly screaming at his driver right now. Quite the mistake. Gonna be stuck there until they decide to either get a new armor unit or until they're taken out. All the main action does appear to be happening from the north here, so we will keep you locked in as far as we're concerned as of right now on this northern side. Quite a battle going on. Rockets flying back and forth. Pusock to the doctor, doctor to the Pusock. Pusock trying to hit General. We got MGs galore being set up. Easy and Bukovac. PZ slowly gaining control of this ground. Here. Not much action appears to be happening on the south. Again, the Pathfinders seem to be holding up that strong point. This infantry mark looked to be about where a garrison was or could have been. Gavilan and Hugo Stiglitz trading there. Actor Jack firing off some rockets. Running up Beatbox. Trying to gun him down. Not landing any shots as of right now. That M1 Garand. Oh. Oh, he's trying to stab. He does not get the knife off. That is why, or the shovel rather. The M1 Garand does come out victorious there. Quite an attempt, if you ask me. I am all for it. I had to zoom in there and try to see if that was going to happen. That would have been wonderful to get on stream. We've got a garrison marked out by Onyx, or not Onyx, I'm sorry. Or yeah, I think it was Onyx that was our commander, I believe. Not sure how accurate that is, but we will take a peek here momentarily. 9PZ working their way in steadily from this northeastern side. Will Pathfinders have what it takes to hold them off? Or is this going to be at 45 minutes or less of an onslaught on their last point? We're going to find out pretty soon here, folks. Hey, there we go. That little light tank's still making use of itself, even though it's stuck in the pit. I don't look for Rockfile to live much longer. Yeah, he goes down there. He was definitely on the sights of that gunner. Hauptmann Hess within the point here. Just on the outside of that building. We've got Berkeley. Might snuff him out. We're not sure. Surprised nobody's up on this tower. If I were Pathfinders, I'd be trying to get the high ground any way I could. As you see here, folks, we've got a final point for Pathfinders. Frederick Junction being surrounded slowly but steadily by 9PZ. It appears they've got almost complete control here to the northeast. But as we speak, we have some contesting going on Bergstein Church, and we have absolutely no one from 9PZ there. This will come in clutch. We will see how this plays out. 9PZ is going to have to send at least a couple guys back to try to defend, while the rest of them move in here in an attempt to cap and get the 5-0. This is what we like to see, folks. This is where it gets interesting. This all comes down to timing and teamwork. Who will come out victorious? NPZ still putting in quite an effort on taking this 5th point. We've got countless squads attempting to push in from this northern side. It appears that all of Pathfinder's spawns are going to be south of point for the most part. I don't see anybody, not many people popping up back to the north. Looks like Reb 22 may be trying to get back in here, hopefully to get a garrison up perhaps. Oh, nope, thought maybe he was putting one up, but not going to waste time with that. Ooh, this could get interesting soon, folks. We've got an armor unit moving in from 9PZ, establishing himself in the point. That's going to be very difficult to counteract that cap pressure, unless he goes down really quickly. It looks like we may have a 5-0 fairly soon here, folks. Got a spawn wave coming off. Looks like probably an OP. We've got 9PZ back here trying to bully anybody coming out of midpoint. Continuing to put cap pressure on. Not much of a response coming from Pathfinders at this point. Obviously, they're... Oh, and almost gets... Almost gets... Oh my gosh. I can't imagine. That would have been huge for Pathfinders. Nearly as successful with a precision strike. An armor unit just happened to have backed up probably about the same time he called the precision strike, if I were to guess. Almost looked like there was two bombs coming out of the sky as well. Got some armor units working in from Pathfinders as well. Hoping for them it's not going to be too little too late. Oh wow. That's not something you see too often. Flamethrower action, hell yeah. Alright, now if you're Pathfinders, you have to, or I have to assume this enemy armor unit has been marked. Yep. Looks like these guys are working their way across. That's going to be a bombing run coming in by 9PZ, trying to work to neutralize any remaining Pathfinders. This armor unit was satcheled, it appears. Goes down right in front of Command's eyes. They're seeing their dreams of a first round win disappear before their eyes. It does look like we're going to have a 5-0, but what a great showing by both teams. Absolutely exciting. We do have a 5-0 here officially, folks. It's going to go in the direction of 9PZ, as we mentioned. What an absolute stunner of a match. Love to see it. Oh my gosh, that was great. That was great. Those of you that were here, I appreciate you watching, of course. Again, you've just witnessed the Premier League Round 1 Division 4 matchup between the 9th Panzer Division and the Pathfinders. 9PZ taking the 5-0 to start the season strong. Both teams putting up quite the performance. There's only up to go from here, folks. Hopefully you've enjoyed the stream. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're out there watching. And forget about...